Yes?
Break a leg.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You already.
I am.
Oh. Mom.
Yes. That's the best. Hey y'all, welcome to the Suburban Stitcher podcast. My name is Diane and today is July 31st, 2019. I am coming to you from very sunny and very hot Texas, Richmond, Texas, which is outside of Houston. It is a lovely week. We have had a lot of time hanging out and just enjoying the summer. It's been a busy work week as well. I'm kind of back into like the normal routine, I guess I would say, for me of not quite up to full speed, but a good normal pace of work for during the summer. I have had a great time just hanging out with my kids and all of us relaxing. So it's been super lovely. And I hope that you are having good summers wherever you are. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who commented last week about my hair. I'm sort of a chameleon. If you've been watching since the beginning, which the beginning episodes are lost to the internet, which is not a bad thing. If you have been around for a while, you know that my hair is an ever-changing thing. I don't have tattoos because those are permanent, so I just change my hair instead. But it's a lot of fun. I really love what I have going right now, and it's really great. So, I have Sophie got shut in here with me today, and she's sort of sitting here not like trying not to look at me. Okay, so let's talk finished objects. I do have one finished object. I finished my mustache apple picking socks. These are mustache yarns in the apple picking colorway. I have not finished a pair of self-striping socks in so long. So this was a lot of fun. I picked up one of her short skeins that she sells for sure at DFW. I don't know if she sells them on her website or anything like that, but it's kind of like the end of the warps of her runs of yarn. And yeah, so I think I finished these the day that I recorded last week, because I said on the show, if I just actually did it, I could finish these super quick. And so that's what I did. And yeah, so these are done. They are for me. Mustache yarn, apple picking colorway. I knit them on a US size 1 on a signature sock needle, circular 32 inch. I 64 stitch sock from the toe up, Turkish cast on, increase up to 64 stitches. Knit a straight tube, plain stockinette tube, 2x2 ribbing, Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And then I cut in for the heels using my friend Cherie of Kirby Werby, using her cut in afterthought heel tutorial video that is on YouTube. And I will try to remember to link it here, but I might forget. So these are done. A fresh pair to add to the sock drawer, which is super exciting. That's it for finished objects. I have worked on really just a couple of things because I finished those socks and then I basically focused on just a couple of things. So I think I mentioned last time that What the Fade shawl is now in quota knitting officially. And it's like, it's amazing. Like when you set your mind to do that, it actually gets done. So I have figured out this morning, I am 22 rows away from being done with this shawl. And so I have made myself the goal, the requirement, however you want to say it, of knitting 1 garter stitch ridge, which is 2 rows, just a front and a back, every single day until it gets done. So I have 22 rows, which is 11 ridges, plus the I-cord bind off, which may take me 2 or 3 days, but that's fine. So I showed this last time. Oh my gosh, I just love it on the camera so much. And I have finished with the 4th color. I'm only using color, the 5th and 6th color here, or A and B, however you want to say it technically. But I have added in 1 ridge of like the darkest last color. So it's going to start getting to the more intense black with the neon speckles. So like I said, I have 22 rows left, 2 a day, will be 11 days until I'm done with the knitting, and then an I-cord bind off of, I think it's 569 stitches at the end. So that's not insignificant. Yeah, so this is coming along great. I hope that if I keep this up, I should be able to finish this in 2 weeks, like 11 days. If I knit at least 2 rows every day, I will finish the knitting in 11 days. And then let's say 3 days for a bind off. I could potentially have this done by the middle of August, which would be fabulous. Yeah, so that's what the fade. There's not a whole lot necessarily different to look at, but I'm just checking back in and showing you my progress. Okay, so that is that one. What else did I work on? Yesterday, I caked up a skein of doily on sock. This is Suburban Stitcher yarn in doily, which I can't quite tell. I'll be able to see better in editing. But this is not totally undyed, but it is very lightly dyed. And it's got some kind of creams and silvery grays and kind of coppery, pinky tones. It's just a kind of a perfect go with everything neutral. It does lean slightly more yellowish cream, but in general, it's just a good off-white. And it is going in my spring cleaning shawl. So you can see I've started adding this wedge right here. And again, I don't know if in the knitting you can tell there's a little bit of tonal. Yeah, right there you can tell there's some different tones. But yeah, so this is this shawl. Gosh, my dog I think is farting. It's disgusting. Yeah, so I'm knitting this on a pretty short needle. It's fine. It has not been an issue whatsoever, but I am really anxious to see how big this thing is because right now it just sort of looks like a bib, but I know it's going to be an enormous triangle when it's all said and done. So that's the new section. Only like 100 more rows to go until I'm done with that section. So this isn't quota knitting by any means, but just fun knitting. I really enjoy that pattern. It is, once you get like the first couple of rows established in each section, you can knit it without thinking because you're basically doing the exact same thing every time in each section, but just in a different direction, if that makes sense. So super fun, super fun. And this is from a self-proclaimed not Stephen West knitter. Go figure. Okay, so that, and then the last thing is a new cast on. I mentioned it last week that I was going to finish those mustache socks and then I was going to cast on a new pair of socks, and I did. I got a skein of, what is this? Dragon Horde. Do I have the, I don't have the tag. Oh wait, I do. It's in here. Dragon Horde yarn in, I will say the first part of the name because the second part is explicit, but it is in the Here's the Thing colorway. It's a quote from My Favorite Murder. This is the Sprite Fingering, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% gold stellina. And if you know me, you know that I love that podcast. And I just needed like a fun pick-me-up several weeks ago, and this skein popped up onto Instagram and flew into my cart. So yeah, so I got this. I love it. It's just a crazy speckled. When it's knit up, it definitely leans towards this like faded neon yellowy green. And I have paired with it a skein that I've had for quite a while. I think, if I remember correctly, I was sent this eons ago for review from Colorful Eclectic. It's in the I Believe in Pink colorway, and it's also on a stellina sparkle base. I think this one's silver though. Yeah. And I am knitting Jelly Rolls, which is a pattern by Orange Knits. I'm pretty sure it's Orange Knits. But so it's like the Rose City Rollers. That's her pattern as well. But this has some little fun like color accents in it. So I have knit the top. So you knit like this roll, and then you start the second roll and then you attach them. So this is attached. And then it's a heel flap, but it's a like colorwork slip stitch heel flap, which is so cute. And now I have finished the gusset and I am just starting this colorwork ribbing that's in the middle. I haven't worked on this for a couple of days, but it is so fun. And I mean, I'm almost halfway through the foot of a sock because it's a little shorty. It's going so quick. So you can see that like kind of the main color is that neon yellow, kind of faded out neon yellow, and then just with all these speckles everywhere. And I just thought that pink was the perfect accent to go with it. So that is Jelly Rolls. And that's kind of it. Oh, and what I'm doing is I have a, this is one of my faux fringe bags. This is by Minnie Moon. And I have, this is the Bee bag by Birch Grove that's in the shop now as part of the Bee Collective. And so I have one of the skeins in here, and I have that sitting inside the bag. And then the other skein is sitting out of it. And so I've just sort of made my own divided container so that the skeins don't get all twisted up. And it's a lot easier to deal with that way. So, yeah, so that's my works in progress. I have a couple of things that I want to talk about because one thing that I constantly deal with, as you know, is the number of works in progress that I have and battling that urge to cast on right away when something feels really exciting and balancing that with actually getting knitting done, which is a constant struggle for me. Because I'm inspired and I'm just so excited to try different textures and different yarns and different patterns and different stitch patterns. And I want to experience it all right now, which is why I cast on so many things. But I also really love knitting and I love finished objects, of course, right? I love wearing the things that I've made. So I have been inspired by Grace of the Cat Knit podcast. She is a local Houston area lady who I have known now as part of a couple of different yarn stores, and she works, is it part-time? It seems pretty full-time. She works a lot up at the Modern Skein in Montgomery, Texas, and which is one of my favorite local yarn stores. I kind of have two favorites. And yeah, anyway, she is amazing. And so I have been very inspired by her lately. She's been working on kind of finishing up her languishing whips all year. And her definition of that is, I think if she started it before 2019, sort of I don't know her exact rules, but anyway, I just feel like that's generally what it is. For me, anything that I started before 2019 is almost everything. So that was a less realistic goal for me. But what I did is I looked at kind of the oldest ones. And other than my scrap yarn blankets, I have 5 projects that I started in 2017, and those are my oldest. So more than a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And I have 5 of them, not counting July because we're in July 31st. We have 5 months left of the year: August, September, October, November, December. If I can average 1 finish a month for the next 5 months of those 5 projects and just really focus on one of those every month or rotate through a couple. Okay, I think I was talking about finishing up projects. Yeah, pretty sure. So I have 5 projects that if my goal is to finish all of them by the end of December. The first of them is my What the Fade. So that totally counts because I started that in 2017. That's one of the 5. That will for sure be done in August. So I thought I would show you the other ones. The first is the one that has the, if I'm being honest with myself, has the least chance of being finished. This is a gorgeous lace weight shawl with lace and beads, Boo Knits, that I started in 2017, like in the spring. And it's stunning. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. But it is lace weight with lace and beads and some sections of lace on both sides. So that makes it really not hard, but just slow. So this is the Just Be You that I started as a mystery knit along in 2017. I think I have clue 5 and 6 left, if I'm reading this correctly. Yes, clue 5 and clue 6. And then I guess that's it. I'm trying to see if that's it. Yeah. So I just have 2 charts left. So clue 5 was 24 rows. Clue 6 is 13 rows. And then a picot bind off. Yes. So, I mean, this might be one that's like, I get to the point where if I can do 1 row a day, maybe after What the Fade is done. But anyway, so this was a lace weight yarn that I carried for a little while in the shop. It was a merino yak silk lace weight, I believe. I don't have a label or anything with me, but I think I called this colorway Wisteria. It's a single ply merino Merino yak silk, I'm almost positive. But I do have some, if anybody is wanting to make anything with lace weight, I do still have some like in back stock, undyed of that yarn. So I should dye up some and maybe knit something else with it and bring it back. Okay, so that is the second languishing whip. The third languishing whip, let's see what else is here easy to grab. The third languishing whip is Kimba, which is a shawl by Amba O'Brien. I mean, I can remember working on this when I went to Canada for the first time, when I went to Edmonton for the Ann Budd Knit for Fun retreat. I remember working on this there. So it has been on the needles for quite a while. I think I started this in October of 2017. Actually, I know I did because I cast it on before I did my first trunk show at Hill Country Weavers for the Hill Country Yarn Crawl. Yes. So Kimba, again, is by Amba O'Brien. I'm sure I have a picture here. There we go. Kimba. And I know you've seen this before. I, of course, am doing the large extended version, which is this size. And yeah. So if I'm looking at this, this is out of my hand-dyed yarn. This colorway was called Menagerie. I have not dyed it in so long. It's very pretty though. Wow. This is Sage. That's the wrong side. So Menagerie, Sage. This color is Tainted Love. Yep, Tainted Love. Again, I have not dyed that one in a while. It's like one of my first ever colorways. Tainted Love, and then, so I will do a little section with the Tainted Love, then I will do another repeat of the Sage, and then Coal is the last section. And these are the Tainted Love and Coal are leftovers from my Sunset Highway sweater. So this, I think that the reason that this one kept getting put to the side is because there is something with the repeats or something in this shawl that always felt like I couldn't ever get the numbers in my head. Like I couldn't ever memorize it. And it made it like, I'm such like a rhythmical knitter, which is why I love brioche. It's generally why I love lace. I couldn't ever get it to where I could get it in my head. And I was every single 11 stitches, I was making sure that I was doing the right thing, which is slow and not the kind of knitting that I like doing. So I don't know if that's me. I don't know if other people who have knit that have just had that same experience with this pattern, but I love it. I love the way it looks. It just has not been as easy for me to grasp the repeat of the pattern. So I know that's why it has gotten put to the side. And it's even in this really cute Amy Beth fat squirrel bag with bees that I love. So it needs to be worked on. Okay, I have that was project 4 or 3. This is project number 4 in an enormous sweater bag from Bird Leg Bags, I think. There's no tag. She may not even be in, yeah, Bird Leg Bags. Is she in business anymore? I can't remember. Anyway, I love this bag. Absolutely love it. And it's perfect for enormous sweaters. And what is in it is an enormous sweater that was a test knit. And of course, because I'm a test knit fail, I didn't finish. But this is Rugged Coat by Joji Locatelli. And it was in Interpretations 5. This is out of Suburban Stitcher yarn in the Cinder colorway. This is Merino DK. in cinder. And so I'm trying to show you how much I have done. Okay, so I have one sleeve because I wanted to test the sleeve math. Here, so I have one sleeve done. You can see it's this beautiful, like textured, ribbed. Okay, so this sweater has, you're knitting the neckband as you knit it. So it's like, this is the finished edge. It will kind of V-neck down this way. Of course, it's on short needles, so I can't show you totally. But it will go like this. This cable detail goes all the way down the front and the back, both sides. And it's like a coat. So it is going to be long. It has pockets. It's got a cool sleeve that I still have to knit. This needs to be done for sure. Okay, let's see if I can finish this. The battery keeps dying and I keep only doing little bitty charges. Okay, the last of the 5 projects. And this one is a lot closer as well. So the last of the 5 is my Adventurous Wrap, also by Amba O'Brien. This one, I was working on 2 halves at the same time. So I have this one, I think, am I on the last color? Either the last color or second to last color. Very close. So this half is very close to being done. And then this half needs some more work, but it's there. So this one again, if I just decided to take it as a travel project or to work on or whatever, it's not hard. It just requires actually working on it. I kind of was working on these, you know, in my, like during Advent the last couple of years, and clearly I need to actually just work on them. So that is the last of the 5. And again, it could totally be done by December. So this one is pretty close. What the Fade is pretty close. And the other 3, the Lace and Bead one only has like 30 rows left, but it's long lace weight, many of them with beading, 33 rows. So it's not insignificant, 35 rows maybe. It's not insignificant, but if I decided to do 1 row a day at some point, I could totally get them done. So anyway, that's my future knitting, at least through the rest of the year. 2 things that I want to show as far as new acquisitions. Ooh, these are all my patterns. I cannot lose those. Okay, the first, I am so late in showing this, it's embarrassing. But the Rusted Stitch has sent me a beautiful shawl cuff, leather. I picked out this plain one. It's kind of a light blondish leather, very plain. It has her little logo stamped in right there, the Rusted Stitch. I don't know if that will focus. Probably not, but it says the Rusted Stitch. She has 2 different things, and y'all have seen these cute shawl cuffs where you just wear them, you know, like around the shawl to keep it closed. I think this is super brilliant, especially for a shawl that maybe has historically been a little bit harder for you. Like it's not long enough to bandana style, but you could totally wear it if it would just stay on, and this is how it can stay on. So I was sent this for review, and in full disclosure, it has been so hot here, I can't wear it yet. So I haven't tried it out, but I have lots of travel coming up in September and October. Lots of travel. lots of travel, amazing travel, more of which I will get into as it gets closer. But, and you can also check out my, got a couple of yarn events, and those are on my website under events. Where can you find Diane? And yes, so I know that I will for sure get lots of shawl wearing coming up soon. And that leads into my next stash acquisition, which arrived a while ago. I don't know exactly how long, but several weeks. But I haven't talked about it yet. And this one I'm so excited about because it is specifically for a very specific project. Joji Locatelli has designed a pattern called the Simple Summer Sweater. Simple Summer? Summer Simple? I think it's Simple Summer. And it is knit out of Mungo by Rosa Pomar. And Rosa Pomar was doing a special that if you ordered it, like the first 50 people to use a certain code got a pretty significant discount. And with exchange rate and shipping and everything, a sweater's quantity worth of this yarn shipped from Portugal, I believe. I'm almost positive it's Portugal. I could be totally wrong. Shipped from internationally over an ocean was like $50. Came in this super cute bag. And I picked the two colors that Joji knit her original. So it's this natural color and this charcoal gray. And this is, Mungo is the yarn base. It's a worsted weight cotton wool. 50% wool, 50% cotton, I believe. Yes, 50% wool, 50% cotton. Worsted weight, 240 yards. And I'm going to be knitting the Super Simple Summer Sweater. I think it's an absolute perfect layer for my climate. I really want to get it started, but I have a test knit / preview knit because I told the designer, who is a friend, that if she is counting on me to actually finish it, then don't. I can't do it, but I can certainly get it started. So I have that I still need to cast on. And I have these other plans for finishing things. So I've got a lot to do. Shop news, there's lots of yarn in the shop. That's the news. There's tons of DK, tons of mohair, Surrey silk, single ply, and then again, by the time this goes up, sock yarn should be in the shop as well. So all the bases, everything's in there, a million different colorways. If you have questions or need help pairing things up, let me know and I'm happy to help. I think that's it for this week. Thank you all so much for checking in, and I will see you soon. Bye.